Before we kind of kick things off officially, let's I see some new names and faces. Let's I don't know, let's try to familiarize ourselves with each other. Let's just do a quick little kind of around intros, who you are, your name, your business, where you service. I don't know, anything you might be interested in talking about tonight. I have a little bit of an agenda, but we'll see how things go. I'll start. I'm Alex Tiberi. I'm the host and moderator. I help appliance repair businesses grow through all kinds of digital aspects, marketing, sort of KPIs, back end, connecting the systems, all that kind of stuff. And then let's just go ahead and what's going to be counterclockwise from me. Bo, you want to tell the group who you are, a little bit about your business, any interest?
Yeah, my name's Bo. Located in Canada, London, Ontario. Run a service business. We're going on close to our second year now. A lot of expansion this year through COVID. As we all know, we've gotten busier and now part supply getting less. Just trying to figure out all the nooks and crannies to keep going strong. That's pretty much it. Working day in, day out. Looking to Alex for his knowledge too. That's why we join these meetings and get all you folks' knowledge as well and get to know other people in the industry.
Cool, thank you. EJ, you want to intro yourself to the group?
Yeah, my name's EJ. I'm the owner of the one-man appliance repair business, EJ Appliance Repair. I'm in Central Kentucky, about 2 years in. I just went full-time this month. It's like you guys said, I like these roundtables, share information with each other. Whatever I can do to help, message me and let me know. That's all I got.
Cool, thank you. Daniel, do you want to introduce yourself to the group?
Daniel, Oceanic Repair. Can you hear me okay?
It's a little quiet, but good enough.
So Daniel, Oceanic Repair in New Jersey. 23 years in the service. Trained over 1,000 technicians worldwide for various companies, LG, Miele, and Viking. So, and that's that. Just trying to save the world one appliance at a time.
Daniel, any particular things that have been on your mind lately that we might be able to kind of focus on tonight? Any issues or wins, that kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, the parts are everybody's difficulty. Trying to keep the repairs still being viable because you want to avoid the shift from people getting to the idea of buying new all the time. And the pandemic has, in the beginning of that, was a big problem. The race to the bottom for dollar-wise is an issue, you know, where everybody in the industry should want to be charging more per se. And I don't mean that, you know, you always want to do a fair price, but if everybody's looking to get to the lowest price, you're going to end up having a lot of really hungry people, and the perception of appliance repair will go down with it.
Cool. Mark, you're a very familiar face here, but maybe not to others. Did you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, Mark's Appliance, one-man show, 37 years in, going from a paper and pencil business, trying to get into this technology and learning the new stuff. Busy as hell and trying to expand.
Cool. Welcome, True Appliance Solutions. We were just going through some introductions to the group before we kick things off officially. Did you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the rest of us?
Hey guys, Scott Holt, single man operation, True Appliance Solutions. I'm based in Richmond, Virginia. This fall will be 30 years in the business. Busy as always, COD only. I basically eliminated a lot of my warranty stuff over the years. It's just too much money and very busy COD.
Anything in particular that's been on your mind or bothering you lately that we might be able to focus on at some point?
Not so much on the appliance side. I don't think you can help me with the other stuff. I'm just kidding. No, I enjoy coming to these things, man. I learn a lot. Every week when I sign off, it's like, damn, I heard something I never even thought of. So I appreciate this, Alex, and meeting other people in the business.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Greg, I saw you come, your picture coming in from Paradise just a moment ago. I don't know if you want to unmute and introduce yourself to the group.
Oh yeah, hey, I'll just introduce real quick. I just got a baby on a pacifier here, so. My name is Greg Wimmerslag, owner of Oracle Appliance Repair in Fort Myers, Florida. This is my second roundtable, so yeah, definitely. These are very informative. So I'm a one-person show, looking to kind of expand and hire on here probably within the next 6 months or so. So yeah.
Cool. Richard and or Jonas, if either of you wanted to unmute yourselves and introduce yourselves, please do so.
Richard, in the Kansas area. This is probably my first year at it. I did like a 6-month trial to kind of see if I could do it, and I did pretty good. So I just said, all right, I'll stick with it. I enjoyed the roundtables. I got your ebook and been taking a lot of steps with that. And I just like to hear from the other owners to learn some lessons and take that into my business.
Cool. Which ebook?
Oh man, I can't even think of what it's called. It's the one with the advertising. I know it talks about the PPC a lot.
Yeah.
And
Okay, cool.
landing pages.
Yeah, that's my paid advertising ebook. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that it's helpful. Jonas, if you wanted to unmute yourself and introduce yourself, this would be the time to do it.
Hi everybody, my name is Jonas. I'm located in Orlando, Florida. That's the second time that I participate in the meeting. I'm happy to join all these great people, learning from you guys. I'm a little bit shy. I don't have that much to say, so I would like to listen more than I talk.
No worries. Cool. Well, thank you for that. And Alpha Appliance, I know his mic is not working, so let's go ahead and jump into things. I'm gonna preach a little bit, maybe preaching, maybe not, but I wanted to talk about a couple things that have been on my mind. I think that it's appropriate given the time of year, and maybe this will be. Maybe this will help open up some of your guys' minds to what I have experienced as really helpful for growing my business. And what this is this is the concept of goal setting and masterminding. It is really, and we're working out, like EJ, it's a little early for him to speak to it, but we're doing a little bit of a pilot program with a mastermind group, and we are kind of feeling things out and might be opening this up to the overall community. And the idea here is, it's like, look, we want to grow our businesses, we want to develop. This can apply both to business, to personal life, etc. But we're never going to be able to do it in an effective and efficient way unless we are setting some clear goals and finding ways to measure them. So if there's one, and I don't want to talk too long on this, because I want to hear from you guys on what you guys may be doing and any questions, that kind of stuff. But here's something that I would, anybody that's interested, I'd encourage you to take away is try to think of where you want to be in 10 years. And it doesn't have to be super specific, but try to think about where you'd like to be in 10 years. And think about what is it going to take to get there, and then bring it back to like 3 years, and bring it back from there to, how you're going to get there, bring it back to 1 year. So 12 months out. And in the same process, thinking about what is it that I need to do to get there, and bring it back to the quarter that you're in. And what I would encourage is to try to establish clear quarterly goals. And again, you want to think about, how are you going to quantify this? How are you going to measure this success that you're defining at all of those different levels? If you really want to take it to a good far place, assign a revenue, like especially if you're doing this for your business, assign a revenue metric or a revenue target for each of those different points. Maybe even assign like a desired profitability, like a profit margin, or whatever is going to be specific to those goals that you're setting. But the most important thing is to make sure that you have those 3-month goals. I like to look at it in like the traditional calendar year quarters. So, you have the first 3 months of the year, then you have the second 3 months. So we have 4 quarters. And then try to look at, like, what are you doing every week? What are you doing every day to make progress at those? I think I'll pause. I'll talk a little bit about masterminding after. I want to hear from you guys. Like, is anybody setting goals? What does it look like for you? Have you thought about it? What stopped you from getting in there and doing it? Yeah. What do you guys say? What do you think?
Yeah, Alex, I'll go. It's EJ here. As he mentioned, we just started talking about this mastermind last night. A few of us in there. Kind of opened my eyes up to some things too. Like I mentioned before, I'm a one-man show, 2 years in. I have dreams in my head. I can't officially call them goals yet, because technically a goal has to be written down. You have to have accountability. You have to be able to measure it and quantify the goal. So to that extent, I haven't done that yet. Probably like some of you guys, I have aspirations of adding techs to my business, and getting multiple people running calls, expand the region. And, that's kind of the base level of where I'm at. So some things that have been on my mind is, how do I streamline my processes and automate my processes that I can hand them over to somebody else and be successful? So, at the time, I'm looking at systemizing my pricing level, because as a one-man show, you guys could probably relate. I get in front of the customer. I know what part I need. I know what it costs, and I'm kind of just picking numbers that feel good. I am using the Blue Book as a reference when I need it. That's helped out a lot, but I can't just give this feel of throwing numbers at a wall and seeing if it sticks to another guy to do, and trust that he's going to do it the way I need it to do. So that, and automating my customer list. I need to get in inventory automated as well. Learn how to use it, and then have it to where I can give it to somebody else as well. So that different things like that, I think it fits for this audience here. I believe most all of us were one-man shows. Maybe a one or two of you is not, but that's what I got going on anyways.
Cool, thank you. Love to hear from anyone else that that might already be sort of utilizing goals, or just want to hear how that looks. Daniel, yeah, go ahead.
So what I do is I have my own. I have a corporate, and then I work with the employees to try to come up with things that are important to them. So that way, because every employee is different than another. So what would you like to get from your career here with me? And working on goals and finding things that excite them, and finding ways to shift them. So that way it's not just a job, it's not a career, it's a family, and that's always something that was goals of my own, which is I'm doing well with, but as finding people will always be a difficulty.
Cool. Anybody else implementing any sort of framework of goals within their business, even if
Yeah,
it's dreaming, like EJ was saying?
I was gonna touch base on what EJ was saying there about, most of us here were one-man show for a long time, or we all had that dream or goal of, one day I'm going to be able to take care of the important stuff, and the business will essentially take care of everything else. And that feeling of wanting to get everything in a position where you feel someone else can come in and take the reins and still be able to do it efficiently is probably the scariest feeling, even when hiring another tech. You want the quality of work to match what you're already giving out. But what I found, I took that leap late last year, not in the form of, well, I have one technician working for me. He still stresses me the hell out, but I took the big leap of getting an office and an office staff member that had zero experience in the industry, but seemed organized enough and had the mentality of wanting to learn. And it was honestly the best thing I could have done for myself personally and for the company. And I found out real quick that they can do things better than I could have done them, as far as the organization, scheduling, dealing with our clientele, even bringing up ideas for things that you don't necessarily have the time to think about when you're out there running all these calls, worrying about your financials, worrying about how to build your business. It's very nice to have someone or people there that can essentially help you and bring ideas to the table. So as scary as it is, it's if you feel that you're ready to do it, or even if you feel that you're somewhat ready to do it, I would definitely push yourself a little further. Don't rush it, but push yourself to get to that point, to take that chance.
I would say that to tie off of that, I have seen, if you think about it like an analogy, if you could add batteries, the more batteries you put into, the more energy you can put towards your goals and where you want to get to. Your people that you're hiring are bringing in new energy and new directions that are not a part of any one of us. And the more you get, the more you grow. Unfortunately, yes, you can get a bad battery here and there, and most people will focus on the bad one, and they will kind of use that as why not to get all the good ones. But I find that the holding yourself back is what you end up regretting the most later on.
I really like that analogy of batteries. And I saw TK jump in right when Bo was talking about, and TK, if you want to chime in, I know that TK has talked a lot about how one of the best things that he's done for his business was hiring an office person. So that's something that's pretty consistent that I've heard that you were sharing with us, Bo.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. There's three main things that are going to help you scale in the appliance repair business. It's getting some kind of whether it's an answering service, a CRM, an office person, getting somebody that can take those calls in, get the customer information and get you scheduled. That's really big. That at least that's what I'm working through right now. Is I have a service. The second one would probably be like a dispatch software. That really makes just life a lot easier. I was using Google Maps previously before using House Call Pro, and it's just night and day how much easier everything is using an actual software service that is designated for the home service industry. And then the third one, I really think, and this is what I'm working through right now as well, is inventory. Once you get those three things figured out, scaling should be a lot easier. Just like Bo and EJ were saying, you can come up with these numbers in your head, but how are you going to have your employees, your technicians come up with this? So you need the systems in place, and those I think are the three biggest ones for sure. So the inventory, the scheduling, and then CRM. And once you get those things figured out, hiring should be a lot easier as far as your training goes. So.
Cool. Yeah, and I wanted to circle back to something that EJ was saying, and Greg kind of helped make that circle because he's talking about systems. EJ was talking about one of his goals is automating and streamlining processes, and one of the things that is going to open that up to open that ability up to a business is really systematizing your processes. And when I say systematizing, I'm talking about identifying what are the repeatable aspects and break those out into separate processes. And you do them the same way every single time. And in order for you to take that to scale, it's a matter of documenting how to do it, and so that you can hand over. And once you have accumulated all of those different repeatable processes and documented them, that's essentially that like operating manual for the business, or operating manual for that position that you're looking to hire for. It's not going to ever be able to be 100% in an automated fashion, at least in the handoff of bringing a new person on. There's always going to need to be that human element of training and hiring, identifying certain skill sets or certain personality types that are necessary for whatever position. But either way, I wanted to circle back and point out the importance of that repeatability. So trying to identify what different chunks are repeatable and focus in on those and try to separate them out so that you're doing the repeatable tasks the same way every time. But yeah, anybody else have some thoughts on goals, the concept of goals, anything like that? You guys want to chime in? Cool. I want to, and it might be brief. I want to introduce this concept of masterminding, or another way that you can think of it is mentoring. There's different sort of flavors to this, but the idea is not trying to go at it alone, not trying to go at it by yourself. And that can be, and another way that I like to say it is try to surround yourself with other people that are where you want to be. One phrase is like, make sure that you're not the smartest person in the room. Another concept or analogy to it is like, surround yourself with other people that are like-minded, have similar aspirations, goals, so that you guys can feed off of each other. And this is, in a sort of organized sense, this can be put together in what I was referring to earlier, and is this concept of mastermind group. Like I said, we're piloting something right now where it's essentially 4 business owners. They get together for an hour every week. They have those goals, and they've broken them down into what do I need to do this week in order to make some progress towards that quarterly goal. And they sort of like tap into each other's opinions or expertise or point of view to get that feedback on whether they're working in the right direction, get that accountability for doing the work to reach that goal for the week. But this is just one form of the overall concept that I'm wanting to introduce, which is that there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. There's no reason to go figure it all out on your own if you have other resources you can tap into. I mean, this call right now every week is an example of it. You guys are all showing up because you recognize the value in surrounding yourself with other people that are trying to sort of make some progress in a similar way. Anybody have experience? I don't know. Anybody has anybody gone and found a mentor or done something like this? Anything anybody wants to share?
I think that's probably the hardest thing for folks like us to come across. I mean, depending where you are, but I know in my area to run into another appliance repair person, let alone a company, is maybe a once in a month occurrence. And even then, it's through COVID and everything, the restrictions, you're not, standing around the parts house and the parts suppliers and chit chatting like we used to. It's a different game now than it was a year ago, I suppose, or just over a year ago. So it takes its toll. You imagine you're at your parts supplier once or twice a day and you run into someone and you could bounce an idea off someone that's a familiar face. That day is gone right now, other than these online kind of interpretations that we get to have.
I'm not sure, TK, I'm not sure if you're in a place to speak, but I know that TK is really big with networking with his local other appliance repair businesses. TK, I'm not sure if you're allowed to share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about networking. If I see somebody in the supply house and I don't know them, I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna give them one of my cards. I'm gonna, invite them to the apprentice group. I got one of my mentors in the chat right now, Mr. Scott Holt. He's been my mentor since day one.
I didn't think TK was going to get on there, but I was going to interrupt him. And I don't know if we're just an odd group down here in Richmond or we're blessed. I hadn't decided which, but there's about 7 guys, and TK will attest to this. And it is nothing for us to basically drop everything we're doing to go help another technician in another company. Install a microwave, move appliances. TK reached out to the group just last week to help unstack a dryer. It's not uncommon in this area, and TK can tell you we've got a good group of guys, and all of our names are different. So and we enjoy helping each other. We get together for a breakfast. We try to do it once a month, and we just chit chat about everyday life, and it means a lot to me. So that's it.
We don't have that in New Jersey.
So we're odd, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have any appliance mentors per se, other than the Facebook groups, stuff like that. But one networking group I am a part of is BNI, and that's a networking organization, and it works on referral marketing. Everybody, there's chapters all over the world. Everybody in your chapter is specifically to your business. So in our chapter right now, we have about 63 people. Every single one of those 63 seats are one type of business. So I hold the only appliance repair seat in that chapter. There's marketing in the chapter. There's lawyers for small business claims, construction, hit and run, accidents, all kinds of stuff. So that's been a good group to get into. And, like you guys said, like-minded people. Majority of them are business owners. There's a few in there that are employees, and they get paid on commission. So it helps them, increase their sales in whatever business they're in. But yeah, it's definitely been a game changer for my business, and made a lot of friends along the way. And if I ever have any questions with, business, marketing, anything like that, I got a big group of experts to go to. So yeah, that's a good one to get into if you guys are thinking about it. But yeah, it's BNI, it's Business Networking International. So, and they're all over the United States, North America, but they're worldwide. So.
Greg, could you provide a little more info for those that might not be familiar? Like, how often do you get referrals, or how positively has it impacted your business?
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, I get, man, just today I had five jobs that were all BNI. I've been in BNI for a little over a year now. So I will say that a majority of them come from the marketer in the group. He's on all the online websites, posting for pretty much every person, every home service business in the chapter. He's on the next door. He's in Facebook groups. He's online. If anyone has a question, he's right there just posting, call this person, you need new pavers, call this person, the person in our chapter. So a majority of them come from the marketer, but I would say I probably get at least maybe 10 to 15 jobs a week on average, from BNI after being in there for over a year. It is what we do is we get together. Right now it's on Zoom, so we get together every Wednesday morning, 7:15, and we meet and get caught up with everybody. Once COVID's in the rear view, we're gonna be getting together, and we get together and have a breakfast and kind of give each other spiels and what we're looking for, how we can help each other's businesses. And it's not a buyer's club, it's a referral network. So you're not getting business from your other members. You will get business from your other members, but the idea is to get access to those other members' sphere of influence. So the let's say the 50 people that I interact with every week, if any of them need a plumber, I refer them to the plumber in our group. And that's how it's really helped. So the longer you're in them, the more comfortable people get with you, and the more top of mind you are. And then it's just your name and information just rolls off the tongue if anybody's asking for appliance repair. So yeah.
What would you say the split between, so of the business that you get out of this BNI group, what would you say the split is between, like, are they commercial jobs? Are they residential jobs?
They're all residential. Yep. So I only do just the 6 major household appliances: refrigerator, washer, dryer, dishwasher, range, and microwave. So yeah, they're all residential. A lot of them, I mean, it does vary. It's, ice makers, your typical appliance repair stuff. So
yeah, so it's like it's a time investment of weekly, early in the morning.
Yep.
Well, maybe not early, depending on anyone's sleep schedule. But what does the financial investment look like to be a member of a BNI group?
Yeah, so basically it's a $200 application, and then it's $699 for a 12-month membership, or $999 for a 2-year membership. So I opted for the 2-year membership a year ago, just because I made that money back within the first month. So it paid for itself within the first month, and everything that happens for the next 2 years is all gravy after that. So, and I plan on renewing when I come up in a year from now, November, I guess, or a couple months from then. Yeah. So
if I heard that right, for people that would be looking into BNI for themselves, it's essentially a $200 sign-up fee, and then either $700 per year or $1,000 per 2 years.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. And right now, well, I mean, right now is easy to just hop if you need a connection to a BNI in your area, I can definitely help you guys out. Right now on Zoom, you can sit in on 2 meetings, and it doesn't cost you anything. So you can give it a trial run, see if you like it. You know, so if it's not for you, no harm, no foul. It doesn't cost you anything. You can come to 2 meetings per chapter for free. So for instance, here in Southwest Florida, there's 26 chapters locally. So they're not all 63 people. A majority of them are in the 40 to 50. There's some as low as 15. But it's yeah, you have access to quite a bit of people once you get in one, for sure.
Cool. And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you need to be invited by a sitting member in order to?
Not necessarily. You can go to just bni.com, and I haven't done it personally, so forgive me if I give a little bit weird information, or not totally correct. But if you go to bni.com, you can search a chapter in your area, and there should be a way on there to find become a visitor or visit a local chapter.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to share any of your guys' experiences with, this overall concept of masterminding, mentors, surrounding yourself with others, anything
I
that?
was actually invited to join BNI when I think it was actually before I started my business. And I did sit in on one of the meetings, but yeah, I kind of just didn't feel like it was time for me to join yet. I wasn't officially a business yet and stuff like that. But the guy that actually invited me to join was somebody that I fixed an appliance for. And yeah, I think that it could really be good for some of those guys out there who are looking to get jobs. It's really good. I mean, they referred me a couple times without even being in it in this chapter down here. So yeah, it's a really good option for some people. Just wanted to add that in.
Awesome. Cool. Anybody else want to share about any of their experiences on this whole kind of surround yourself with others to help you elevate? A rising tide lifts all boats.
I would agree with the concept of it. It works for what I think we've all, well, maybe not all, but a lot of us have done the conventions where, we've gone to, the ASTI, and then I forget where the other one, which has a tendency to go to Vegas. But their biggest draw and much of their value comes from the fact that you are getting to know people from all over the place, and you're really getting a wealth of information, and you're setting aside a preset period of time to work and focus on those things. This is effectively doing the same thing. The masterminding thing, I think, is a great idea. It's stuff that I've worked on with a few other people in the past, trying to help them out, which they've gone on to do their own careers, but I never actually expanded on it. From there, it was more just I had trained them, and they got used to coming to me for questions and when things would come up, because I was the one that kind of got them started. And so it was always a thought, to kind of do something like that, but to expand it further, I haven't done that other than just being, the teacher, and then just was always here for them when they had an issue.
Awesome.
Hey, can I throw something in there?
Please.
Yeah, this has been mentioned the last 2 roundtables, but if you guys are not on one-on-one or on name basis with your appliance sales reps at your local Lowe's and Home Depot, I'm telling you, you're missing the boat. They will feed you big time.
How did you line that up for yourself, Scott?
Well, I got the local Lowe's right here near my house, the actual store manager, his wife works with my wife, so I kind of got lucky on that store. But we do have about 4 Lowe's right around their area, and I walk in there with a handful of cards and basically introduce myself and give them the cards. And I mean, they will throw your name out there, and I stop into those stores periodically. I'll just stop in. I've got to buy stuff anyway. I'll go back to the appliance section and just chat with them. And trust me, they will ask my advice on different appliances because they're trying to sell the stuff too. And they get all their information from their literature that's not really, I mean, any Samsung guy will walk into a Lowe's and say, hey, you sell 500 of these refrigerators, they're the best on the market. This guy don't know jack about that refrigerator, and he will pick your brain. So if you take care of him, he'll take care of you.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing to, I guess I kind of want to highlight is, you know, you need to make it worth their time. So you need to be able to bring the value in some way. And if you're going to be able to help this sales rep sell appliances, do his job better, then, and if he's going to be a good salesman, he's going to only sell an appliance to somebody when they really need it. And when they don't need it, you know, you're in their mind. I like that. That's a good one. I hadn't heard of that one yet. Oh, that's good.
The guy at my store, he tells me quite often, hey, I had a customer in here. They really didn't want to spend $2,000 on a refrigerator. And so he just asked, well, what's wrong with yours? Can it be fixed? And he gives them a card. And I know he's out of a sale, but the customer has already said they really don't want to spend this kind of money today. So they walk out the door with my card. And the customers tell me the same story about where they got the card from. So it's pretty cool to hear the same story coming from 2 different people.
Nice. No, there's definitely power in networking for sure. Whether it's trying to elevate your own game and skill set, or whether it's just trying to grow business. Let's maybe shift gears. I'm not sure because I know that Alpha Appliance doesn't have a mic, but it looks like there's been a lot of chatter going on in the chat about insurance. I don't know if you guys had any things you wanted to throw out there, or maybe you guys have taken care of it already in the chat.
Insurance is kind of a thing. It depends what you want to insure and what you want to put the value on your stuff as. It's going to change no matter what. Like, you carry $40,000 of tools in your van, your insurance is going to be higher. You carry $100,000 of inventory, your insurance is going to be higher. It's all relative to what you are insuring and how covered you want to be, I think, in my opinion. So the guy's saying they can get it for $65 a month, and you know, me over here, I pay $375 a month just for what I have in my workshop, right? I think it's just relevant. I could get insurance that is $100 a month, but it would cover what I carry on my back, essentially.
This is just popping in my head. I'm not sure if there's anybody here that could speak to it, but I'd be interested to hear from somebody who runs out of their house and keeps inventory, like in your garage, for example. How do you go? So is that what you're referring to when you said your shop?
Yeah, well, we've got a shop location, which is on my home property. The shop is designated a commercial building though. And that's where we keep most of our larger tools and inventory and stuff for the meantime. So it's part of the home, but it's designated commercial. Which also, because it's attached to the home, it has quite a bit of perks as well, meaning I can write off almost every single home expense I have every year as well, which is kind of a nice dual factor to it.
Anybody here that is in a similar situation, but no commercial zoning? I'd be interested to hear.
Yeah,
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 EJ, how do you go
very
about it?
similar. I have a 12 by 24 storage building sitting next to my house. I've got that insured at $7,000, and I told them I had about $10,000 in inventory between all of my parts, and also got 5,000 in tools. And I think I got the 100 or the $1 million GL general liability. I didn't go to the 2 yet because I didn't have a reason yet. And it doesn't include my vehicle. My vehicle is on a separate commercial policy. So I pay 60 something a month. And, I've got everything that a warranty company would want. And I believe I'm covered with everything. I know it was about 2 months ago, a guy on the Apprentice group mentioned his vehicle catching on fire. So that's when I went and jumped up my insurance. Thanks to that guy. I found out that parts I store at my house would be covered, but parts in transit would not be. So if you keep vehicles on your vehicle or parts on your vehicle, you may want to look into that too. Another thing to over there is the different things that you tell them that you're going to do. Like be careful telling them that you're going to do plumbing. If you're not licensed to do that, we don't do plumbing. We might hook up a drain hose or a water line, but we don't do plumbing. I also told them I don't deliver appliances. I was covered in my commercial vehicle to transport appliances to my place, but I couldn't deliver and install to that degree. But at the same time, you're taking one out, you're putting it back in. Like if you pull a dishwasher. So there's different things like that you can kind of tweak. What I did is I went to a broker, an insurance broker in my town. They don't have to be in your town, but they should be in your state. Just find a guy that's going to find the best deal for you that covers everything. But like Bo said, but make sure what you're wanting to do is covered.
And I agree.
These
Sorry.
things set up. Go ahead.
I was going to say, just real quick, get a broker because we know appliances. We don't know insurance. Get a broker. They know what they're doing. Pay them whatever the commission is, but get a broker. You are covered if you get a broker.
Advice. It's like the homeowners out there. They want to bring the experts in to fix their appliance. It goes all around. It's like you can't be a jack of all trades. Well, you can be a jack of all trades, but you're not going to be an expert in everything.
One of my favorite sayings when I enter a customer's home and they're questioning, like, oh, I didn't know if I should call someone. I say, you know what? When my truck starts making noises, I bring it to a mechanic because I'm not going to mess around with something that's that important to me. I'll let a professional do it. I'm more than happy to pay him for whatever he needs for the repair. And just factor it into, you know what, you got an issue with your appliance. You put all your appliances together. It's an investment even bigger than my truck. Call in someone that knows what they're doing with it.
Yep. You break your leg.
I don't know if I got this thing to work. Can you hear me?
Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I asked for just regular insurance, but the one question they were wanting to ask me was like, are you installing? What are you installing and how often are you installing? So maybe that was something like EJ said that you should just tell them you don't do. Would that decrease or?
You don't want to be caught in the dark. You tell them you don't install and you flood someone's house after an installation, you're screwed.
Mm-hmm. Well, wouldn't Like he
install.
said, wouldn't repairing themselves be installing because you're uninstalling it and then reinstalling it?
No, because sometimes you can go and do an install that doesn't have a pre-existing water hookup and you're tapping into an existing water supply, which means you have now changed what was originally there and drawn up. You need to be insured for that.
Yeah. I really don't do installs if it's an install. I pay another guy to do it without being in my business. If you want to do installs, tell them you do installs. And like Bo said, you're going to pay a little more for it. Cover yourself. It's worth it. If you're going to do it enough to pay for the difference, you know, I mean, if you're going to pay a difference of $150 a month, how many installs you got to do that? If you're
One,
doing,
not even.
if you're doing a few of them, do it. You're paying for it.
Cool. I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to bring up. Otherwise, we can go ahead and wrap things up. I think there were some really good points brought up. I'm going to have the recording up in the next few days. And, you know, as I always say, you know, the value of these calls is defined by who shows up and what you guys share. So thank you all for showing up, and looking forward to seeing all or some or most of you guys same time, same day next week.